The wind had always been the cowboy's only companion. It howled across the plains like a restless spirit, whispering through fence posts and rattling the shutters of the small wooden cabin he had built with his own hands. He had spent years alone beneath that wide Texas sky, riding beneath blazing sunsets, sleeping beneath cold constellations, and convincing himself that solitude was strength. But even strength grows tired. That evening, the sky burned gold and amber as the sun dipped below the horizon. The ranch was quiet, almost reverent, as if it knew something sacred was about to unfold. The cabin windows glowed softly with lamplight, and for the first time in years, the lonely cowboy did not eat supper alone. She sat across from him, his bride. Her hands trembled slightly as she folded her napkin. She was young, yes, but not naive. Life had not been soft with her. She had grown up in a strict household, sheltered from the world yet burdened by expectations. Marriage, to her, had always been spoken of in hushed tones, sacred, serious, permanent. And tonight was her wedding night. Silence lingered between them, not awkward, but heavy with the weight of new beginnings. He noticed the way she avoided his eyes. He had faced stampeding cattle, violent storms, and men who carried guns without mercy. But nothing unsettled him like the fear he sensed in her quiet breathing. He stood slowly and walked toward her, boots heavy against the wooden floor. When he knelt before her chair, removing his hat gently, she finally looked at him. There were tears gathering in her eyes. "It hurts," she whispered, her voice trembling like the wind before rain. "It's my first time tonight." The confession hung in the air, fragile, honest, sacred. The cowboy did not flinch. He did not smirk. He did not rush. Instead, he reached for her hands, rough palms meeting soft fingers. "I know," he said quietly. "And nothing happens tonight that you don't want." Her breath caught. He continued, voice steady as open land. "Love ain't about taking. It's about protecting." She hadn't expected that. All her life, she had been warned of pain, of duty, of submission, but never of gentleness. He rose and led her to the window instead of the bedroom. Outside, the moon had risen, full and luminous, silver light spilling across the fields. "See that?" he said softly. "The moon don't rush the night. It lets darkness settle slow. That's how we'll do this. Slow." The tension in her shoulders began to ease. He wrapped a blanket around her and they sat side by side, watching the wind move through tall grass like waves across an ocean. He told her stories, not of war or hardship, but of hope. Of the first horse he ever trained. Of the day he built this cabin dreaming someone might one day call it home. "I was lonely a long time," he admitted. "But I never wanted just anybody. I wanted someone worth waiting for." Her tears fell freely now, not from fear, but from feeling seen. "No one ever waited for me before," she whispered. "I have," he replied. The night stretched on. No rush. No pressure. Only warmth. Only closeness. When he finally carried her across the threshold of the bedroom, it was not with urgency, but with reverence. Candles flickered softly against wooden walls. White linens rested neatly across the bed. He set her down gently. And instead of reaching for her body, he touched her cheek. "You're safe with me." 3 words she had never truly heard before. The pain she feared was not only physical, it was the fear of losing herself, of being consumed, of stepping into something she did not understand. But he did not consume. He comforted. He kissed her forehead first. Then her hands. Then her trembling stopped. That night was not about passion alone, it was about trust being built brick by brick, breath by breath. Outside, the wind finally grew quiet. And inside that cabin, 2 lonely hearts learned that love does not demand, it listens. Morning light slipped through the curtains like a quiet blessing. She woke first. For a moment, she did not move, afraid that reality might shatter the peace she felt in her chest. But there he was, still beside her, not distant, not cold, not changed. His arm rested protectively across her waist, his breathing steady, hat resting on the nightstand like a loyal sentinel. She studied his face, the lines shaped by sun and hardship, the strength softened by kindness. And she realized something. It hadn't hurt the way she feared. Because he had never rushed her. The cowboy stirred awake, blinking against morning light. "You all right?" he asked gently. She nodded. And then surprised herself by smiling. "I was scared," she admitted. I know. But you didn't make me feel small. He brushed a strand of hair from her face. Love ain't supposed to shrink you, he said. It's supposed to give you room. Tears threatened again, but these were tears of relief. For the first time in her life, she felt chosen, not for obedience, not for duty, but for who she was. They rose together and stepped onto the porch. The ranch stretched endlessly before them, golden grass swaying under blue sky. It's beautiful, she said. It's ours, he corrected softly. That word, ours, settled deeply in her heart. Not his, not hers, ours. Days turned into weeks. Their love did not burn fast and fade, it grew steady like sunrise. They learned each other slowly. Her laughter became easier. His silences became softer. And every night, he asked the same question. Are you comfortable? Every time, her answer grew stronger. Yes. The lonely cowboy was lonely no more. And the virgin bride who once trembled now stood beside him with quiet confidence. Because true love had not hurt her. It had healed her. And that's the kind of love worth waiting for.